All right, ready to dive deep. Today we're tackling something that might surprise you. Why parents should actually support their kids playing games. I know you're thinking screen time, addiction, all that. But what if we've been looking at it all wrong?
Exactly. What if, instead of a threat, games could be a powerful tool for development?
Okay, you've got my attention. Our main guide today is SuperBetter by Jane McGonigal. It's all about how games can make us more resilient. She even used gameful thinking to recover from a concussion, so she knows what she's talking about.
And what's fascinating is that McGonigal's approach isn't just about bouncing back from trauma, it's about post-ecstatic growth, where intentionally choosing challenge leads to positive change.
So like how weightlifting tears down muscle to rebuild it stronger, but for our minds.
Exactly.
And SuperBetter is full of examples, right? Like quests to boost resilience.
Absolutely. One that stands out is ridiculously simple. Stand up and take 3 steps.
Seriously.
It sounds trivial, but research shows even this tiny action can improve your body's stress response over time.
Okay, I can get behind that. Small steps. Any examples that are more, well, brain-focused?
Definitely. SuperBetter cites this fascinating research on Tetris. It turns out playing it after a traumatic event can actually help prevent PTSD flashbacks.
Wow, really?
Now, this isn't saying Tetris cures trauma, but the visual processing it requires seems to occupy the part of the brain where intrusive memories try to take hold.
So it's like giving your brain a healthy distraction,
Ah,
but one that also builds focus and spatial reasoning skills.
precisely.
2 birds, 1 stone.
And this idea of occupying the brain in a beneficial way also applies to anxiety. Think about that feeling of flow we get when we're totally engrossed in a game.
Oh yeah, when time just flies by and you're in the zone. Lost track of a few hours thanks to a good game myself.
Exactly. Games are fantastic at inducing that flow state, which research shows helps block out negative feelings and worries.
Really?
This is especially true for casual games, like those quick puzzle games or word games on our phones.
So even those seemingly simple games can provide real mental benefits.
Absolutely. What's key is that flow requires focused attention and provides constant feedback, giving us a sense of control and mastery that can actually translate to real-life situations.
So in a way, by mastering a game, we're also mastering our attention and emotions. Skills that come in handy when dealing with, well, life.
Exactly. And that's just scratching the surface. We haven't even touched upon the social and emotional benefits of gaming, which are just as compelling, especially for kids.
Okay, lay it on me. What do we got?
One of the most intriguing things SuperBetter dives into is social synchronization. It's this unconscious tendency we humans have to mirror each other's actions and emotions, and it's amplified during gameplay.
So even if you're competing against someone in a game, you're still on some level connecting and syncing up with them.
Precisely. And that synchronization can lead to increased empathy and stronger bonds between players. SuperBetter even shares this heartwarming anecdote about how playing Farmville actually helped bridge cultural divides within a family.
Wait, Farmville, the game where you grow virtual crops.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So it's not just about slaying dragons together. It's about finding common ground and connecting through shared experiences, even in seemingly simple games.
Exactly. And it extends beyond in-person play, too. Online games and social platforms can help maintain relationships across distances, teaching valuable social skills like reciprocity and collaboration along the way.
That's something a lot of parents worry about, their kids becoming isolated by being online too much. But it sounds like if done right, online games can actually be a way for them to connect and build relationships. Who knew?
It's all about perspective. Think of it like this. Games can be a training ground for navigating complex social dynamics in a fun and engaging way.
Now, it's a point I think a lot of parents can get behind. Instead of seeing gaming as a solitary, isolating activity, we can start viewing it as an opportunity to connect with our kids, understand their interests, and maybe even learn a thing or two from them.
Precisely. And it's not just about social and emotional skills. Games can even be used to boost willpower and motivation, which ties directly back to your question about games being beneficial to mental well-being.
Okay, now this I have to hear. I mean, we all want our kids to be motivated, but how does that tie into gaming?
SuperBetter brings up this really interesting case study of a game called Remission. It was specifically designed to improve adherence to chemotherapy regimens in teens.
Wait, a video game for chemo? How does that even work?
It all comes down to dopamine, that neurochemical associated with motivation and reward. Remission was designed to trigger dopamine releases, essentially making sticking to a treatment plan feel good.
So it's like gamifying the process of taking medication, turning a potentially difficult and tedious task into something engaging and rewarding. That's incredible. I wonder if they make a game for getting teenagers to clean their rooms.
Well, maybe not specifically for cleaning, but the principle applies. SuperBetter tells this great story about a guy named Calvin who used a bingo card strategy to handle a stressful job interview. He literally made a bingo card with squares for things like personal attack or points out a flaw in my work.
Okay, that's brilliant. So by turning a nerve-wracking experience into a game, he was able to transform anxiety into a challenge, something to overcome and even enjoy.
Exactly. And it all goes back to this concept of self-efficacy, the belief in one's own ability to succeed. Games provide this amazing space to practice skills and build confidence, all in a safe, low-stakes environment. And that confidence can spill over into real life.
So what does this all mean for parents who are, let's be honest, probably a bit skeptical at this point?
It means that understanding these benefits can radically change how they approach their child's gaming. Instead of seeing it as this looming threat, they can start to view it as a potential tool for growth. Just like any other challenging activity, it's about shifting our perspective, really.
SuperBetter offers some practical steps parents can take, right? Like encouraging their kids to think about the specific benefits they get from games.
Absolutely. It could be social connection, relaxation, skill development, whatever it is. It's about having conversations with kids about their gameplay, but framing it in a way that highlights the skills they're learning and how those skills can be applied to other areas of their lives. It's about turning a potential source of conflict into a shared learning experience.
Okay, so it's about shifting the focus from restricting games to leveraging their potential. Instead of saying, no more screens, it's about saying, hey, what did you learn from that game?
Exactly. Imagine the possibilities if we, as parents, embraced gameful thinking as a family, not just something our kids do in their spare time. What could our kids achieve if we saw games as allies in their development, not enemies?
Wow, that's a powerful thought. I'm starting to see things in a whole new light. I feel like we've covered a lot of ground here, but this is just the beginning, right?
Oh, absolutely. This is merely the tip of the iceberg. But before we dive deeper, let's take a moment for you to process all of this amazing information. We'll be back in a flash to explore even more fascinating ways games can benefit our kids' mental and physical well-being. Welcome back. Now, before the break, we were talking about how games can help build willpower and motivation, which are essential for pretty much every aspect of life, right?
Absolutely. But honestly, when I think willpower, I think of things like resisting that extra slice of cake or finally getting around to that dreaded chore. I'm having trouble connecting it to something as, well, fun as gaming.
And that's precisely where SuperBetter flips the script. Remember that game Remission we discussed?
The one designed to help teens stick to their chemo regimens.
Yes, it was incredibly successful, and it all boils down to harnessing the power of dopamine.
Okay, dopamine, the brain's reward chemical. So by playing Remission, the teens were getting that dopamine hit, which made them feel good about following their treatment plan. It's like tricking your brain into enjoying something that might not normally be so enjoyable.
You got it. It's about making the process feel rewarding, not just the outcome. And this gameful thinking isn't limited to medical treatments. Remember the story about Calvin's bingo card strategy for job interviews?
Oh, yeah. He made a game out of dealing with stressful interview questions. That's something I could definitely use.
Right. By turning the interview into a game, Calvin transformed anxiety into a challenge to be overcome. This ties directly into self-efficacy, which is so crucial for kids. When they believe they can succeed, they're more likely to persevere through challenges.
So it's not just about distracting yourself from a difficult task. It's about changing your mindset, turning it into a game you can win. And games, especially those with clear goals and progress indicators, are perfect for that.
Exactly. And it's not just about mental resilience either. SuperBetter also explores how games can actually improve physical resilience.
Okay, before you go any further, I'll admit I was picturing kids suddenly bench pressing cars after a marathon gaming session.
Haha, I understand. But no, it's not about virtual muscles magically transferring to the real world.
So what is it then?
It's about the mental toughness, the grit that games can cultivate. Think about the challenges we face in games. We have to strategize, make quick decisions, persevere through failures, and adapt to constantly changing circumstances. These mental exercises build resilience, a never-give-up attitude that can actually translate to handling physical challenges as well.
So it's like training your brain to handle stress and setbacks, which then makes you better equipped to handle physical discomfort or challenges.
Precisely. And there's even research to support this. SuperBetter cites studies showing that playing action video games can improve reaction time and hand-eye coordination. These skills are valuable not only in the virtual world, but also in real-life situations, like playing sports or even just navigating a busy street.
So the next time my kid wants to play a fast-paced action game, I can rest assured that they're not just wasting time, they're actually honing their reflexes and coordination. Maybe I should even join in and get a workout for my brain, too.
Exactly. And beyond those physical skills, remember we talked about flow and how it can help with anxiety? Well, SuperBetter takes it a step further and explores how games can benefit mental health in even more profound ways.
Now, I know this is where some parents might get really skeptical. The common belief is that games are addictive and can worsen mental health issues, not improve them.
And those are absolutely valid concerns. Anything in excess can be harmful. But what SuperBetter highlights is that games, when approached thoughtfully, can be a powerful tool for building mental resilience.
Okay, I'm listening. How does that work?
Think back to that flow state we discussed. It's not just about escaping reality, it's about training our minds to focus and be present in the moment. This ability to control our attention is crucial for managing anxiety and stress.
So it's not about avoiding our problems by playing games, it's about building the mental tools to face those problems more effectively.
Exactly. And it's not just about intense immersive games either. SuperBetter points to research showing that even those casual games we often play on our phones, puzzle games, word games, things like that, can be incredibly helpful. They provide quick bursts of flow, that mental break we often need to reset and recharge.
So those 5 minutes I spend playing a word game while waiting in line aren't just a way to pass the time. They're actually a mini mental workout. I'm starting to see my phone in a whole new light.
It's all about perspective. And it's not just about managing negative emotions either. Games can also be a powerful source of positive emotions. Joy, excitement, a sense of accomplishment.
Oh, I can definitely relate to that. That feeling of finally beating a tough level or achieving a new high score is a real mood booster.
Exactly. And those positive emotions, those wins we experience in games, can have a ripple effect on our overall mood and outlook on life. They remind us that we're capable of overcoming challenges and achieving goals, which is a powerful message to internalize.
So in a way, games are teaching us to celebrate our successes, big or small. And that's a valuable lesson for kids, especially in a world where there's so much pressure to be perfect.
Precisely. And these benefits extend beyond the individual level as well. Remember how we talked about social synchronization and its power to build connections? Well, SuperBetter dives even deeper into how games can foster stronger relationships.
Okay, this I'm really curious about. I mean, I love playing games with my kids, but I've always seen it as more of a fun activity, not necessarily a relationship-building tool.
And that's totally understandable. But think about it this way. When you're playing a game with someone, you're literally on the same wavelength, experiencing the same highs and lows, sharing in the challenges and triumphs. That shared experience can be incredibly powerful for strengthening bonds.
But even if it's a competitive game, there's still this underlying sense of connection, of being in it together. It's like building a shared history, a collection of inside jokes and memorable moments.
Exactly. And this shared experience can lead to increased empathy and understanding between players. SuperBetter even shares that heartwarming story about how Farmville helped bridge cultural divides within a family.
Right. It's amazing how even seemingly simple games can create these opportunities for connection and understanding. It's not just about the game itself. It's about the conversations that happen around the game, the shared laughter, the playful banter.
Exactly. And this applies to online games as well. While there are definitely valid concerns about online safety and potential for negative interactions, online games can also be incredible platforms for kids to connect with others, especially those who might struggle with face-to-face interactions.
That's an important point. For some kids, the online world might feel safer and more comfortable than navigating the complexities of in-person social situations.
Exactly. Think of it like this. Online games can be a social training ground, a safe space for kids to experiment with different social dynamics, learn how to cooperate, and build confidence in their social skills. And these skills are essential for success in pretty much every aspect of life.
Okay, so we've talked about how games can help build resilience, improve mental well-being, and even strengthen relationships. But I'm sure some parents are still thinking, this all sounds great in theory, but how do I actually apply this to my family?
That's a fantastic question. And luckily, SuperBetter provides some really practical takeaways for parents who are ready to embrace the power of gameful thinking.
All right, I'm all ears. What's the first step?
First and foremost, it's about changing the conversation around games. Instead of focusing on the negatives, the screen time, the potential for addiction, try to shift the focus to the positives. to those potential benefits we've been discussing.
So instead of saying, don't spend so much time playing games, it's about saying, hey, what skills are you learning from that game?
Yeah.
Or tell me about what you achieved in the game today.
Exactly. It's about framing games as a potential source of growth and development, not just mindless entertainment.
Okay, I can see how that shift in perspective can make a huge difference. Instead of approaching it from a place of fear and restriction, it's about approaching it from a place of curiosity and opportunity.
Precisely. And it's not just about talking about games, it's about playing games with your kids.
You know, I have to admit, I'm sometimes guilty of just letting my kids disappear into their screens while I do other things.
Yeah.
But you're right, when we play together, it's a completely different experience. It's about shared laughter, shared challenges, shared memories. That's where the real magic happens.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be complicated. It could be a simple board game, a card game, or even a video game. The key is to find something you both enjoy and make it a regular part of your family routine. It's about creating that shared experience, that connection that transcends the game itself.
Okay, so we've got to change the conversation, and we've got to play games together. What else can parents do to really leverage the power of games?
SuperBetter suggests encouraging kids to identify the specific benefits they get from games. What do they enjoy most about playing? Is it the social connection, the challenge, the sense of accomplishment, or simply the fun of it?
So it's about helping kids become more mindful of their gaming habits, to really understand why they enjoy playing and what they're getting out of it. And once they have that awareness, they can start to see those same skills and benefits in other areas of their lives.
Exactly. It's about making those connections, showing them that the skills they're developing in games are valuable and transferable, and it's about celebrating those successes no matter how big or small. Every win, every moment of triumph deserves to be acknowledged and appreciated.
Okay, I'm loving this, but I have to be honest, we've thrown a lot of information at our listeners today. Before we wrap up, is there anything else parents can do to really help their kids embrace this SuperBetter approach to gaming?
There's one more powerful tool we can add to our parenting arsenal, and it might sound a little unconventional.
All right, you've got my attention. What is it?
It's all about embracing the power of secret identities.
Secret identities. Like superheroes. Are we suggesting parents start wearing capes?
Haha, not quite, although that could be fun. But SuperBetter dives into this fascinating research about how stepping into a role, a character that embodies the qualities we aspire to, can be incredibly empowering.
Okay, so not literally becoming Batman, but adopting a persona that helps us tap into our strengths and overcome challenges.
Exactly. And this can be especially helpful for kids who are still developing their sense of self. Imagine encouraging your child to create a gameful secret identity, a character who is brave, resilient, and always up for a challenge. It's like giving them a mental power-up.
So it's like role-playing, but with a purpose. They're not just pretending to be someone else. They're embodying qualities that can help them in real life. It's like a mental costume that gives them an extra boost of confidence and motivation.
Precisely. And SuperBetter even suggests taking it a step further, creating a team name or a guild for the whole family.
Okay, now you're talking my language. So we're not just individual superheroes. We're a league of extraordinary parents and kids, united in our mission to be SuperBetter.
Exactly. And it's not just about the name. It's about creating a shared identity, a sense of purpose and camaraderie. Imagine having family meetings where you discuss upcoming quests and strategize how to overcome bad guys as a team.
Wow, this is really starting to click for me. It's taking all those concepts we've been talking about, resilience, goal setting, teamwork, and turning them into a fun, engaging experience that the whole family can participate in.
And the best part is, it doesn't have to be complicated. You can brainstorm ideas together, design logos, come up with secret handshakes, let your imaginations run wild. The key is to have fun with it and to make it something that everyone feels invested in.
This is such a refreshing take on family life. Instead of feeling like we're constantly battling our kids about screen time, we can actually harness that love of games and turn it into a force for good, a way to build connections, foster resilience, and create lasting memories.
And it's not just about the kids either. Parents can benefit from embracing their own gameful secret identities. Imagine tapping into your inner Captain Calm when dealing with a stressful situation, or channeling your super supportive sidekick when your child needs a boost of encouragement.
I love that. It's like giving ourselves permission to be playful, to approach challenges with a sense of humor and adventure. It's about remembering that life doesn't have to be so serious all the time.
Exactly. And when we model that playful, resilient mindset for our kids, We're giving them permission to do the same. We're creating a family culture where it's okay to fail, to try again, and to celebrate every victory, big or small.
This has been such an eye-opening conversation. I feel like my whole perspective on gaming has shifted. It's not the enemy. It's a powerful tool that, when used wisely, can unlock incredible potential in our kids and in ourselves.
And remember, this is just the beginning of the journey. There's so much more to explore, so much more to discover about the power of gameful thinking. And remember, the most important thing is to have fun. Embrace the power of play. Unleash your inner superhero. And watch as you and your family become super better together.
Well said. Until next time, stay curious and keep playing.